Hello developers, today in this part of this tutorial I am just going to integrate this message sending services. Like here the user can send with the timestamp of single tick. When the receiver opens this message, it will got blue ticks and all, right? And also the online status of the current user and last seen status of this user also will be notified last in few seconds. So this kind of functionality along with this grouping of messages based on this timestamp. So every functionality is going to integrate this video, and next part we are going to have notification services. Hope you excited. Drop a like and let's dive into this tutorial.
For this first part of this tutorial, I am going to replace this green color default icon to something like attractive new icon. So for this I am just click double shift and search for Android manifest. So you can see this file here, and I am just going to replace this IC launcher default icon and round icon from my custom images, right? Drawable IC launcher. So I am just going to replace this icon. For some devices there are rounder icons, right? So for this I am going to use this rounded icons. Looks pretty straightforward. I'm just running my application. So hereafter it will be indicated by this icon, right? So you can feel free to use this icon from yours, and I'm giving this images in Google Drive as usual. So I'm just focusing on the second part, have the online indication and the last seen of this user, right? For this I'm going to create a new UI for this green indication, right? So I'm just come to my chat screen, search for a profile item, and each item I'm just going to use this at the place of this image, right? So let's say it's a box with this modifier, and I'm just going to wrap this image within this box. Weight won't be there. Let us say match parent size to take size of its parent box. Clip, let it say circle shape as it look like some WhatsApp. And I'm going to use content scale to stretch the image to the entire corners of the circle, right? So content scale dot crop fill bounds fit, whatever you prefer you can use. I'm just going to use crop here, and here is a catch. Now I'm going to use this green color indication thing, like 14 dp size la. Oops, it won't be close here. Background, let it say color dot green. Circle shape la, and some border 2 dp color dot white la, some circle shape. Looks straightforward, and I'm just running this screen. Close this box. Let's see. You can see this green color indication, which only shows on current online users, right? So to have this functionality, I'm just going to main activity, which will execute on app opening, right? So I'm going to add few more logics here to save the current online status and last seen status. Just search for on start, which will execute on opening this app. Just use view model Firebase auth current user UID. If it is null, just return. If it is not null, then it is a validate user. So I'm just going to add this here. It's online. model Firebase Firestore, collection of users only we are going to store our data, right? And document of current user ID, that update. So this thing is update on true when this user opening our application. So we need to set false when he is closing this application, right? On stop, the same functionality, false. And also I need to show a last scene here. It got updated here, right? And is online boolean false, while last scene now looks perfect. Here, if it is current user is online only, we need to show, right? We need to show this green indication bar. So pretty straightforward. And here in login view model, we are going to load all our users, right? In that page, here we already used get operation, but get operation is executed only once. So we need to use add snapshotListener, which will continuously detect on changes and update the users list, right? So I'm just going to copy this and use this in our snapshotListener. So I just everything I removed it. Here I'm going to get result and an exception. For now I just ignore the exceptions here. Result is there and it's just going to update in my list as expected. If nothing comes, just return defaultly empty list. Cool, now it works. And also for boolean value, there's a catch to use. So I'm just going to use user copy is online. So it comes from snapshot, right? Snapshot result, which is IT. Default value false. If it is there, it will assign to its data class. So once that thing is done, let's run our applications. I just running in my both application, right? Both the devices at once. You can see this. Two devices are at the same time online is there. When I close this, the symbols got removed, right? Now I'm just going to implement this last scene message, right, in the user's chat screen. So that I'm going to implement last scene message. I'm just going to pass a timestamp, which we have stored previously, right? The thing I'm just passing here, which returns string. When he last seen, like minute ago, or like we're going to use the date. So here I'm going to use 0L, which represent the user is currently online, right? So if I get timestamp equal to 0L, then just return online. Cool. Here's the catch. I'm just going to use a text switch case. Timestamp difference equal to current timestamp minus timestamp. So this will give the how much time difference between current time and like coming timestamp value. Okay. So the difference is less than 1 second has 1000 milliseconds. Okay. So which represent less than a second. Okay. Return last seen few seconds ago. Similarly, minutes, it will calculate the minutes as you expected. Val
minute equal to last seen this many minutes ago. Okay, which is a minute, which is a hour. So within an hour, these many minutes can be calculated. Within the last day, right? SDF, simple date time format, like that. Date format. I'm just going to use HHMO. Hour, minute, AM, PM format. Locale.get default. Just return last seen today at dot format date of timestamp. Similarly within yesterday, so last seen yesterday at same format but along with the date. Okay, date, month, year, last seen on SDF date, format, date, timestamp. Hope you get this. Message screen la top bar. I'm just removing this and pass view model dot timestamp something. Last seen view model dot friend message cell. Cool. Hope you get this. Let's run this project. As I already said, I'm just running multiple devices at the same. So both are online. Okay. I'm just closing this application. Check. Few seconds ago. Cool. But here's the catch. This friend user is right. So we are set at single time, but it can update in lively manner, right? It need to update in lively manner. So for this, I'm just going to write it on load other users. Here within, whenever the value changes, we need to update the friend user also. Cool. User data find it.uid equal to that friend user's ID. So both IDs match. So I'm just going to update. Let friend user is equal to user. Okay, whenever the value updates lively manner, it just update this current thing. So I'm going to use mutable state of null. Just import this alt enter or option enter. No, it's perfectly fine. So why I'm using mutable state? Because whenever the value changes, we need to update the UI automatically. Okay. Currently the user is online. Just going back. Few seconds ago. Next level, I'm just going to add the delivered sent icon and read icon, just blue tick functionality. So for this, I'm just going to alter the UI of that message screen. Like in sender item, we need going to add the timestamp and the tick icon. Okay. So for this, I'm just going to wrap it this with a box. And its modifier contain this. Cool. And with
within the same box, I'm just going to have a column. Column means top and bottom approach, right? I'm going to have another row which is going to have the timestamp, that's centered time and tick icon. For this, I'm going to use something like so for now let it be modifier font size, let's say 10 sp, color let it be a color dot gray. Cool. And here I'm going to use fill max width and this text align, right? Alignment, horizontal alignment, arrangement dot n. So it in the right part and left part like that. A tick icon. This color dot gray, that is fine. It should be 12. Column row must be make sure you need to add a spacer between this. So let's say width of 4 dp to have some spaces in there. I'm just going to remove this fill max width and all. So it's no longer needed here. Let's run the project. Cool. Here also no fill max width needed. It looks fine. And further, I'm just going to add this tick icon. You can just check this emojidp.org website. Cool. And for this timestamp, I'm just going to add. It will be look like this only. Also fine. And for this timestamp, right, I'm just going to have the logic in view model last see message. So I'm just going to use this logic. In here, message timestamp. Return string. Leave dot format. Date dot timestamp. So just long here. Will be fine. Just add a parameter here. Message timestamp. Just replace this here. Cool. And also for delivery and reading logic, I'm just going to create a enum class. Read. So default it will go sent, and once it received by the receiver, it got converted to read. Okay. Also, we can send this status also here.
then single tick. If it is a read, then it will be a double tick, right? And so you see blue. Double tick. Cool. Hope it will work fine. And I'm just going to update here. Listen message la. When the receiver received the message and it's going to render the screen, right? Receive and render on his screen. So up then it is the received state. So here I'm just going to have snapshot documents. For each document I'm going to check this. So if user dot receiver ID equal to my ID, which is I am received the receiver message. So here I'm just going to set this doc.status. Hope you got this. Let's run this project. Now I open that message. It just turned to, here we need to check a condition like message listener registration equal to none. So this only listens when it is on the chat screen. Okay, so let's add the condition here. Listener registration and return this. Okay, so instead of directly calling this, I'm just going to call with an on start listening message. So function start listening message listener dot equal to something like this. Sender ID, receiver ID, on message changed. And it's changed to bar. So once done, I'm just going to stop listening message. Remove and message listener equal to none. Okay, cool. Here instead of launch effect, I'm just going to use disposable rate, right? Disposable effect, which will execute, which will stop once we exit the screen, right? Stop listening message. On dispose executes once we exit the screen, right? So starting of the screen, just start the listening. On exit of the screen, just stop the listening. Hope you understand. Let's run this project finally. Yeah, finally 2 users are getting online. Hello. He just got a single tick because he doesn't open the message. Once he opened the message, he got bluetooth. So here comes the final part of the tutorial. I'm just going to group every messages based on today, yesterday, and the date of the received messages, right? That's exactly like our WhatsApp screen. For this, I'm just going to create a grouping functionality. For this, I'm just going to create data class. Let it be a sealed class. Within this, I'm just going to create a few data classes like header and chat item. Val date equal to string. Command D or control D. Chat
message. It will be chat message, which is our data model, right? So here I am going to create a function of group messages. I'm just passing a messages of list of chat item, right? List of chat messages. So this is existing message flow. I'm just going to change it to list of chat item, which is after grouping, right? So let's say how we are going to check. For this, I'm just going to create it datetime format. So datetime format already used, right? Simple datetime format. I'm just going to reuse this. Well, date format. Why month, day, and similar for day format. DD, YYY. Okay, it's for year. I'm just going to return a grouped message after sorted by timestamp and the grouping by this date. Let group by this date. And I'm going to map. So here's a little bit tricky logic. We need to fetch the header based on the group, right? Message. Date format of system dot current milliseconds. So if it is a current date, then just return as today on header. Else, if it is less than 1 day in that format, just return yesterday. It is a minus. Else, day format first timestamp. Our final step is to create a map. Chat item first will contain message, ID. And second is just create a list of just pass the header. Cool. Grouping is complete. We need to call this grouping on message screen instead of directly using this message. Okay, let us just pass this group messages here. When data is chat item, cool. For this, I'm just going to use a box with the text that shows data dot date modifier will max width. So content element center line is going to show a box. Color equal to color dot white. Font weight, it will be bold. And let's have some padding around 8 dp. Also have some rounded corner shape. It will be a better look. Let's run this. You can see this timestamp here.
Let's remove this sorted and message screen here. Bottom bar text field paddy fat. Hope that's all about the tutorial. Hope you love this. And next part, I'm just going to integrate Firebase cloud messaging service, so the user can able to send and receive notification and chat seamlessly. Hope you love this. Thank you.